Officer asks the one question that makes your stomach drop. Can I see your phone? Instantly, your mind races. Your private messages, your photos, your location data, your entire life is in that device. It feels like you have to say yes, but do you? I'm going to break down in plain English what that question really means, what the law usually says about it, the exact words to say if you want to protect your privacy, and the tech basics you need to know so you don't accidentally hand over your digital life. No legal fluff, just clear, usable lines and real-world steps. Quick upfront note, I'm not a lawyer. This is informational. Laws can vary by state and situation. If you need legal advice for your specific case, contact an attorney. All right, first, the simple truth. Your cell phone is not like a wallet. It holds your messages, photos, email, location history, and dozens of apps that map your life. The U.S. Supreme Court made that point in a big way. In most cases, police need a warrant to search the digital contents of your phone. That means an officer generally can't just demand to scroll through your photos or messages without legal authority. But, and this is key, there are important exceptions and variations, so knowing what to say and do in the moment matters. Let's start with the most important verbal lines you should memorize and use. Say these exactly, calmly, and once. Officer, I do not consent to a search of my phone. I wish to remain silent. I want to speak with an attorney. Say the first line right away if asked to hand over or unlock your phone. Say the second line if they press questions about what's on it. Those two sentences keep you protected without being rude. They're short, neutral, and legally meaningful. Now let's unpack the 3 common ways police try to access your phone so you know what you're up against. Scenario 1. They ask for consent. This is the simplest and the most dangerous for you. If you say, sure, go ahead, you have effectively waived many legal protections. Consent is powerful. Once you consent, it becomes much harder later to argue a search was illegal. So do not consent. Use the exact line, Officer, I do not consent to a search of my phone. If they ask again, repeat it calmly. Don't argue, don't run, and don't physically resist. Just refuse consent and document what happens afterward. If they insist they have a warrant, ask politely to see it. If they can't show one, keep your refusal on record and let your lawyer handle the legal fight later. Scenario 2. Exigent circumstances. Sometimes officers claim an emergency. Say they believe evidence is being destroyed or someone is in immediate danger. In those narrow cases, courts sometimes allow a warrantless search. For example, if police see someone trying to delete messages on your phone right in front of them, they might argue exigency. But exigent circumstances aren't free-for-alls. There must usually be a real immediate risk, not just suspicion. Again, the on-scene rules. Don't obstruct, stay calm, and say you do not consent. Later, a court can evaluate whether the exigency was real. Scenario 3. Searches incident to arrest and other limited rules. Historically, police could search areas within an arrestee's immediate control, but the law has tightened around cell phones. In many cases, the Supreme Court has said phones usually require a warrant, even after arrest. There are still some limited officer safety or evidence preservation carve-outs, but they're narrower than many people expect. So, if you're arrested and an officer asks to examine your phone, save the same script. Don't volunteer your passcode and request an attorney. Phones, biometrics, and passcodes. The practical tech basics. This is where people get tripped up. First, do not voluntarily hand over your passcode or type it in for an officer. If they ask you for it, say, Officer, I do not consent to providing my passcode. I want to speak with an attorney. Passcodes are often considered testimonial in some courts, and forcing someone to reveal a password raises Fifth Amendment issues. However, court rulings vary across jurisdictions. To avoid giving officers any optional leverage, refuse politely and ask for a lawyer. Second, biometrics, fingerprints, Face ID, and similar. Courts have treated biometric unlocks differently in some cases. In a few places, police have been allowed to use a suspect's fingerprint to unlock a phone during a search.
Because the law is unsettled in places, treat biometrics with caution. If an officer tries to force you to use your face or fingerprint, say the same script and ask for an attorney. If you can, lock your phone with a strong passcode that you control, but don't do anything in the moment that could escalate. Third, airplane mode, power off, and deletion. If an officer asks you to turn on airplane mode or to power off your phone, proceed cautiously. Turning on airplane mode can stop remote deletion or tracking, which may be useful to preserve data, but it can also look like interfering. In many cases, it's safer to politely refuse commands related to altering your device and instead repeat that you do not consent and wish to speak with a lawyer. Crucially, do not delete messages, photos, or other data after law enforcement asks. Deleting can be viewed as obstructing an investigation and may get you into more trouble. Okay, let's run a short role play so you can hear how this sounds in the moment. Say it out loud now until it feels natural. Officer, can I see your phone? You. Officer, I do not consent to a search of my phone. Officer, why not? Did you delete something? You. Officer, I wish to remain silent. I want to speak with an attorney. Short, calm, and done. Don't explain. Don't try to convince them you're innocent. The goal is to keep the moment safe and preserve your legal rights. A few what not to do points. Memorize these traps and avoid them. Don't hand over your phone unlocked for them to scroll through. Don't volunteer your passcode or type it in for them. Don't try to delete files or apps. That looks like obstruction. Don't physically resist if they take the phone. It's dangerous. Instead, repeat that you do not consent and get legal help. If the police tell you they have a warrant for your phone, ask to see it. If it's valid, comply. But make note of the details: officer's name, badge number, warrant specifics, date, and time. If you can, record the interaction and back up any footage to the cloud as soon as it's safe. After the stop, preserve evidence and get help. As soon as you're able, write down everything: officers' names, badge numbers, patrol car number, exact time, location, and what was said. Upload any videos or photos to cloud storage or email them to yourself immediately so they can't be deleted. Then, call a lawyer experienced in digital privacy or criminal defense. If you think the search violated your rights, your attorney can file motions to suppress evidence or seek remedies. Now, the reality check. There are no perfect tricks to avoid police searching your data if they truly have legal authority. Warrants, subpoenas, and certain exceptions exist. What you can control is what you say, whether you consent, and how you document the interaction. Your calm words and refusal to consent can matter enormously later in court. You don't have to be a tech expert to protect your privacy. You just need 2 short lines and a calm mindset. Practice them once or twice so they roll out naturally if you ever need them. If this helped you, please like the video and subscribe. I put out more practical rights and safety breakdowns like this one. Stay safe, keep your data private, and I'll see you in the next video.